Nasir, in his capacity as chair of the Advisory Commission on Rakhine State, will make a few comments and then we'll take your questions.
So this afternoon, I'm chair, not Secretary General. We have only one Secretary General in the building. And so it's the chair addressing you this afternoon. No, I've had a very good discussion with the Council on the situation in Rakhine, and I focused mainly on the report of the Rakhine Commission, which I had the privilege of chairing. There were 9 of us, 6 from Myanmar and 3 internationals, but we managed to produce a report which was with consensus, without much tension, even though we think there is a strong report, constructive and honest. At the meeting this afternoon, it's clear that everybody agrees on what is required to be done in the short term: stopping the violence, getting humanitarian assistance to those in need, helping eventually for the dignified and voluntary return of those who have left and are in Bangladesh. This is not going to be easy. They will only go back if they have a sense of security and confidence that their lives will be better. And we, in the recommendation, indicated that they should not be put in camps. They should be allowed to go back to their villages, and they should be helped to rebuild and reconstruct. The report covers a wide range of activities I'm sure you've seen, from economic and social development to intercommunal dialogue, to education, health, freedom of movement, and above all, on the key question of citizenship and verification, which has been a real problem for the Muslim community. And as you know, the State Councillor accepted the report and indicated they will implement it. She set up an interministerial committee to work on the implementation. Just before I left Geneva, I met with the minister chairing the interministerial group leading the implementation of the report. She also intends to set up an expert group to help advise the implementation on the implementation of the recommendations. And this would also include international experts, and hopefully that would also give a possibility for dialogue between the international community and Myanmar. What was important is they have accepted the report, and the report is generally accepted by the member states, by humanitarian and development agencies and NGOs. And so it could form a framework and a basis for action as we move forward. And hopefully the Myanmar and the international community can work together on these broad issues. And I think it's important for Myanmar that Rakhine is settled. That will give them time and space to focus on the other major problems in the country at large, because it's taking lots of time and effort and resources. I think what is happening is the international community is now beginning to put pressure on the military, and also military to military talks, for them to be responsible in their attitude towards what they call security clearance. And it is also important that other militaries and countries that have been through this experience offer advice. We should remember that Myanmar is going through a very difficult transition after over 5 decades of military rule. And it is a tough situation to manage. And we need to really work with both sides. I have indicated to the Council today that there is a duality in the leadership of the Myanmar's governance structure, which makes it difficult to get a coherence and coordinated implementation of these recommendations. But we need to press ahead and work with both sides and make sure that as a government they work together. I would hope the resolution that comes out urges the government to really press ahead and create conditions that will allow the refugees to return in dignity and with a sense of security. They should not be returned to camps. They should help rebuild. They need assistance to get their homes done. They need access to education, to health and all. And if we do the right things, and here we are talking of Myanmar government, the Rakhine state government, and the international community working together. And now I suspect, given the discussions we had this afternoon, that the international community is prepared to engage Myanmar and work on a common roadmap using the report of the Rakhine State Commission as a basis, and to move forward together, engage them on all the range of issues we have recommended, and try and stabilize the situation. Because if we don't, we are going to have a long-term festering problem, not in the region, which can be very serious down the line. When I gave my report to the State Councillor and to the President, I said we were given a year to do our work. I said, with this report, submission of this report, our work is done. So I don't have a plan B, and my work is done, and I have indicated if they want advice, I will advise. She did indicate they would want to stay in touch periodically for advice, which is fine. But I think the main thing is, when we talk of plan B, I don't see what other plan B there could be. We have to tackle the root causes, and the report deals with that. And if we move ahead and implement the report seriously, we will be dealing with the root causes and ensuring that we won't have repetition of these periodic violence and attacks on each other. From what I gather, obviously I haven't been to the ground, that it seems as if the violence has almost stopped and calmed down. But that does not mean that once the military operations have stopped, that individuals or other groups may not be taking certain initiatives. But so far, from what we are being told, the military action seems to have ended, but the exodus continues. So your question is relevant. If the action has stopped, why are they leaving? What's provoking them to leave? Is it hunger? Is it action by other militia groups? Is it fear that they will be next? Is it fear that they will be living in an isolated community with everybody gone, where they will not have any commercial activities and livelihood? I really don't know. But we are told the military action, and the minister from Myanmar repeated it again today, that is over.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Performance. Renato Locke-Desolin. Did she fail in her job? Significant ASG, the Assistant Secretary General, Myanmar, for the UN. Country team fails, and the UN country team fails.